In 1998, 4 engineers from Microsoft's DirectX team created a prototype gaming console that ran on Microsoft's Windows software. Their pitch for a dedicated home gaming console designed to compete directly with Sony's PlayStation 2 passed quickly up Microsoft's chain of command until Bill Gates himself met with the team. Gates was immediately enamored by the concept of a home gaming console that could woo back software developers to the Windows platform after being lured away by Sony's successful hardware. Soon, this DirectX, later dubbed the Xbox, was made into a reality with the full support of Microsoft's marketing and top brass behind it. While the original Xbox would never come close to reaching the heights of the PlayStation 2 in sales, it boasted the most powerful technology of any 6th generation home console. The original Xbox had a custom 733 MHz Pentium 3 processor CPU with a 64 MB of DDR SD RAM at 200 MHz of memory. The GPU is NVIDIA's 233 MHz NV2A with a floating point performance of 7.3 gigaflops. In light of these technical specifications, which were superior to other home consoles at the time, one has to wonder what kind of games were technically possible on Microsoft's first dedicated gaming console. This video is based on a request by commenter Zuon94, who specifically requested a top 5 best looking games on the Xbox video. In compliance with this request, I've compiled a list of what I think are the best looking games on Microsoft's original Xbox. These games are not chosen solely on how far they push the technical limitations of the system, but are also chosen based on their performance, artistic aesthetic, and are of course all based on my own subjective opinion. To Zuon94 and anyone else stopping by, I hope you enjoy the video. But before I start my actual list, I would like to bring up Xbox's port of Half-Life 2 as an honorable mention. While the lighting effects, textures, physics engine, and detailed character models are an impressive feat for this system, the inconsistent to subpar frame rate and frequent load times detract enough from the overall experience for me to not include Half-Life 2 in my top 5 list. This is done with a heavy heart, as fitting a game as gigantic and sophisticated as Half-Life 2 onto a single Xbox disc is a remarkable achievement that deserves recognition in itself. Now, without further ado, let's get to it.
You look nice.
Thank you.
Psychonauts was a title that was originally intended to be a Microsoft exclusive at the behest of Ed Fries, Microsoft's vice president of game publishing at the time. Fries felt that their library could benefit from a game with a unique artistic presence, which I believe was true since the Xbox is guilty of an oversaturation of games that focused on edginess and realism. This game is the brainchild of Tim Schafer, who is known for his work on titles such as The Secret of Monkey Island, Day of the Tentacle, Grim Fandango, and many others. The original idea for Psychonauts came to Schafer during his work on the LucasArts graphical adventure cult classic title, Full Throttle. Schafer had originally envisioned a segment of the game in which the main protagonist goes on a hallucinogenic outing after ingesting some peyote, a form of cacti with psychoactive effects. LucasArts put the kibosh on this idea, but once the company began to move away from creating point-and-click adventure games, Tim Schafer and a few key developers left to form Double Fine, where they eventually turned this original concept into its own full-fledged game. The art direction of Psychonauts is reminiscent of a Tim Burton movie, and its style provides for an experience that is as psychedelic and vivid as it is amusing. To me, the visuals of this game have aged excellently, thanks to its unique and memorable art design. Psychonauts is a game that, once played, you cannot remove from your mind.
Hey, Goggalor! Down here!
Excuse me, were you talking to me?
Ah! Ow! My ears!
I'm sorry.
Ah! Oh my God! Ah!
Are you okay?
He's dead.
Oh geez, I'm sorry.
Don't worry. Every member of the Resistance is prepared to die, fighting the tyranny of Kochamara.
Next up is a game that has garnered a huge fan base as well as critical and financial success, despite being criticized for doing little to elevate the first-person shooting genre. Doom 3 was ported over to the Xbox in 2005, and while it is definitely a step down in quality from the PC version, it remains visually impressive on the original Xbox. That Doom 3 can look this good on a lower setting is a testament to the quality of ID Software's development on the Doom 3 engine. It is clear that even on lower settings, Doom 3 is pushing the Xbox hardware to its limits, as evidenced by the downgraded performance experienced when a large number of enemies are on screen at one time. To be honest, I've been burned out on first-person shooters ever since Halo 2, and the linear gameplay that some fault for being too similar in level design to the original Doom does not help in this regard. However, despite that Doom 3 is not to my personal taste in terms of gameplay or art design, I cannot deny that the lighting effects, computed in real time, and detailed character models have their charms. The interesting thing about Doom 3 is that it is considered to be one of the best sci-fi shooters of all time, not so much because of innovative game mechanics or compelling level design, but due to its overwhelmingly epic presentation and atmosphere. The fact that the visuals have been able to dress up an enjoyable but utterly run-of-the-mill shooter into an eye-popping sci-fi horror experience that critics cannot help but praise is an outstanding achievement. The visuals not only contribute to an immersive gaming experience in Doom 3, they practically carry the whole game. In light of these considerations, I cannot help but provide Doom 3 with a place on this list. Coming up at number 3 is Dead or Alive 2 Ultimate. Dead or Alive Ultimate was a compilation release of Dead or Alive 1 and 2 developed by Team Ninja for the Xbox. Dead or Alive 1 is a nice novelty, as it is a close one-to-one game with the Saturn version, with some smoothed out graphics. But the Xbox version of Dead or Alive 2 is where the most impressive visuals are. You might be asking yourself, wasn't Dead or Alive 2 originally a Dreamcast release? Sure, it's an impressive game on the Dreamcast, but isn't a port of it a bit outdated to be considered one of the best looking Xbox games? Actually, there are several aspects to Dead or Alive 2 Ultimate that set it apart from the Dreamcast and PlayStation 2 versions. You see, Dead or Alive 2 Ultimate was released after the debut of Dead or Alive 3 for the Xbox. Due to this fact, Dead or Alive 2 Ultimate contains technical aspects from its original version, along with influences from Dead or Alive 3. The Xbox version is not so much a port, as it is an enhanced remake that utilizes the graphical engine of Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball. The difference can be seen in this side-by-side comparison with the PlayStation 2 version to the far left, Dreamcast in the middle, and the Xbox iteration on the right. The increased number of polygons, lighting effects, and new stage elements show that this version is running on another more advanced engine. By the way, I borrowed this image from a channel called RookerVision. Check out his videos if you would like to see a more in-depth comparison between each version of the game. The link is in the description below. The graphical enhancements to Dead or Alive 2 are a fantastic tribute to this classic Dreamcast-era game that completely does it justice by making it one of the best looking games on the original Xbox.
Lay down!
Coming in at number 2 is the 4th installment in the Burnout series, Burnout Revenge. This entry was originally released for the PlayStation 2 and Xbox in 2005, and was later ported over to the Xbox 360 in 2006. I'm a huge fan of arcade racing games, and the Burnout series is one of this genre's best. Burnout Revenge looks stunning on the original Xbox. The glossy, sleek design of your vehicle, careening around corners and smashing into rush hour traffic, looks spectacular. It's a lot of fun to try the various modes and missions of Burnout Revenge, in particular, missions that employ the use of the crash breaker mechanic that causes your car to erupt in a massive explosion of unbridled destruction. The main draw of this game, for players like myself, are the races that are a mixture of urban traffic racing and all-out vehicular combat. Getting a revenge kill on a car that caused you to crash earlier in the race is intensely gratifying. The reason this game ranks so highly on my list is because of the speed, lighting, and beauty of this title that make it comparable with early games released for the Xbox 360. In fact, I find that Burnout Revenge looks better on the original Xbox than the 360, primarily due to the use of the hideous bloom effects shoehorned into the Xbox 360 iteration. Burnout Revenge is a game you could play on your television and shock your unsuspecting guests when you reveal that you are in fact playing an original Xbox game. Hardcore gamers rejoiced at the release of Ninja Gaiden for the Xbox, which struck the right balance between punishing difficulty and reward that keeps you coming back for more. This entry went through 5 years of development before its initial release in 2004. In 1999, Team Ninja originally intended for the project to be developed on Sega's Naomi arcade system board. They then planned to move the project to the Sega Dreamcast. However, when Sega discontinued manufacturing the Dreamcast product line in 2001, Tecmo considered launching Ninja Gaiden on the PlayStation 2. Thankfully, Team Ninja leader Itagaki, after being impressed by the Xbox development kits, pushed for a release on the Xbox hardware instead. The game turned out to be a huge hit in the West, although the high levels of gore and violence made it a controversial title in some regions. Eager to get as much out of this title as possible, Team Ninja continued to work on Ninja Gaiden after its release and would make available 2 downloadable expansions called Hurricane Packs, which added features to the story, tweaked enemy AI and designs, and provided improvements to the game's camera system, all completely free of charge. Eventually, these downloads, as well as some additional content, would be bundled together in a reworked compilation dubbed Ninja Gaiden Black, which Itagaki himself considered to be the final version of the game. Critics fell all over themselves to praise this game regarding everything from gameplay to graphics to its technical aspects, which caused many to marvel at how well the original Xbox's output was visually competing with early games for the 7th generation of home consoles. Ninja Gaiden Black's enhancements have caused this game to be almost universally acclaimed as the Xbox's greatest audio and visual achievement. This game succeeds at pushing the Xbox console to its limits without significantly sacrificing on performance, as this game somehow manages to pull off everything at a stunning 60 frames per second. The reason I have chosen Ninja Gaiden Black as my best looking original Xbox game is because it best showcases what Microsoft's original vision for the system was all about. Exquisite gaming experiences for the hardcore gaming audience with a presentation that no other home console could touch, while also giving gaming PCs a run for their money. That's it for my top 5 best looking original Xbox games. I really hope you had a good time watching. Please keep in mind that this is all just my personal opinion, and I can see how many other games such as Splinter Cell, Riddick, and Panzer Dragoon Orta could arguably take a spot on a list like this as well. If your best looking Xbox game did not make my list, please let me know in the comments below because I love hearing from others who are also passionate about video games. Until next time, be safe and take care.